Now, you all know that former President Donald Trump has or is planning to launch a new social media site. I talked about that. It's what is it? Truth Social. It's going to be filled with truths. You can even retruth things, and so it's even more truthier than truth. It is filled with the truthiness that even Colbert could dream about back in the day. So this site, however, seems to be having some. Well, let's just say people are having doubts about it, okay? I'm hearing some people are talking about the doubts that maybe, maybe it's a gigantic waste of money. Maybe it's not going to do very well. Well, that's at least according to one, senior contributor to that well-known fake news liberal rag Forbes, who recently wrote, and this is Chuck Jones. He wrote that Trump's new platform is facing a little bit of an uphill battle, meaning that it might not do very well. Now, of course, as been reported before, Trump's Truth Social platform is part of Trump Media and Technology Group, or TMTG. That just always makes me think of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles for some odd reason. Just, now I think of Donald Trump wearing a gigantic turtle shell. And so all those terrible thoughts. You will probably brain bleach after this one. Lots and lots of fun. So we're having fun on this one already. So that Trump Media Technology Group is set to merge with Digital World Acquisition Corporation. So that's basically an SPAC. It's a shell company. It's a shell company that they use specifically to set up mergers. It doesn't have any it doesn't have any revenue, doesn't have any assets. It's just a shell company set up for specific types of mergers and acquisitions. Now, when I talked about this story originally, I pointed out that Digital World Acquisition Corporation is actually set up and incorporated in Wuhan, China. Oops. It's just a little bit of fun irony that has nothing to do with the story. Just fun. Okay. Now, as Jones points out, he said that despite a jump this week in the stock price of Digital World, these companies have no revenue or earnings. Again, it's because it's an SPAC. In fact, he said, we have neither engaged in any operations nor generated any revenues to date, according to Digital World's IPO prospectus. And so, again, despite that, all this stuff, it has no money. It's got no money. It's not worth anything. And yet, they're selling stocks. So now, also the same thing, Jones writes, could be applied of TMTG. It is a business starting from ground zero with multiple hurdles in front of it. From its press release, TMTG's business will be to create a rival to the liberal media consortium and fight back against the big tech companies of Silicon Valley, which have used their unilateral power to silence opposing voices in America. Now, of course, if you have read any of the disclosures about Facebook, you would know that's complete and utter lies. That's just garbage bullshit. All right. Facebook has actually done, and I'm a Facebook partner, and a lot of my viewers are on Facebook. They have undoubtedly, provably favored the right wing. They haven't silenced anyone. Okay, they constantly promote Ben Shapiro, Daily Wire, Dan Bongino. You'll always look in the top 10 most viewed, Facebook pages, or I should say most viewed Facebook posts. It always comes from the right wing. Now, of course, they figured out how to game that algorithm, which drives mainly, or I should say, which is driven mainly on anger, fear, disgust. Well, that's what the right wing peddles in the most. And so that's where they get the most engagement. And they knew that their algorithm, people at Facebook knew that that algorithm was set up in such a way to promote right-wing content. And they decided not to change it because it was good for their business model. They were getting engagement. They were getting ad revenue. They were getting, personal information, likes and clicks, etc. And they're like, well, hell yeah, of course we're going to keep doing this. Yeah, of course. So the whole idea that social media, oh no, is silencing conservatives and stopping them, which is why we need to set up our own social media company, is ridiculous. Just garbage. Absolute garbage. So now, he continued by saying, this is Jones, along with a social network named Truth Social, it would be a large hill to climb going against established social media companies. So he's basically just saying, well, you already have Facebook, you already have Twitter, you already have YouTube, you already have Instagram, you already have all these social media companies. Not only that, you also have many on the right wing, where you have Telegram, you have Gab, you have Gitter, you have, Frank Speech now. These so-called, right-wing free speech platforms, which is hilarious because, as I always point out, they're pretty hypocritical. I think on Frank Speech, you can't swear. Like, you get banned for swearing on Frank Speech. I mean, it's ridiculousness. And even on Trump's Truth Social, you can get kicked off for making fun of the site or annoying people who work for the site. And so, yeah, sure, great. Total free speech bastions, all right? But again, with all of those companies out there, this guy, Jones, is like, why? What's the point? It's not going to do very well. So, and look, let me make a prediction here that is not entirely too bold. Donald Trump is going to use his company to funnel money into his pocket, of course, until the site crashes and burns. And TMTG goes belly up or gets turned into turtle soup. A little bit of a, Turtles reference there. It's going to get shredded. And that's fine, because that's what Donald Trump does. That's his business model. He'll take as much money from this company as possible, even if it operates or, when it operates in the red. Doesn't matter. He's going to take that money, stuff it into his pocket until the whole thing burns. And that's it. That's it. And then, of course, he's going to go right back into bitching about how Twitter is bad and how they should reinstate his account. You know it. You know it. So now Jones is trying to be as fair as possible. Like, I would say too charitable to this position. I don't know Jones. I don't know his politics. Jones doesn't really matter in this case. But I think he is being incredibly, way, way, way more fair than I am, obviously, because he notes that Trump has a very poor track record of running a company. All right, well, again, that is accurate. But he's still taking this seriously, like, Trump wants to set up this company because he really does want to challenge the liberals. No, he doesn't. No, it's about money. It's about money. That's all it is. And again, the Washington Post had noted that, once again, how Trump has a very, very bad track record for companies. They talk about Trump's own company, which is Trump Entertainment Resorts. That company operated for roughly 2 decades, starting in '95. For Trump's investors, it was a disaster. The company lost more than $1 billion, its stock price nosedived, and it filed for bankruptcy 3 times in 2004, 2009, and 2014. However, Trump himself did very well. The struggling company paid him more than $44 million in salary, bonuses, and other compensation. So I tell you that because I think it's really relevant to this. Not for the fact that it's a failing business. No, Trump fails businesses all the time. The thing is that Trump takes all that money for himself and lets the business crash and burn, and then goes and says, well, I'm bankrupt. I load my company up with debt. I buy all this junk, these, junk bonds or junk loans that I have no ability to pay back because the interest rates are sky high, but that's okay. The business fails. I grab myself a golden parachute, and that's it. I make out like a bandit. And all the investors get screwed. Ha ha, suckers. You invested, and now you're screwed. And that's it. And so, look, all fairness to Jones, when trying to be super objective, but at the same time, I think you're being a little bit too fair to him because you're not connecting the dots. That this isn't about making a real competitor to social media. It's always been about taking a company, loading it up with debt, and then extracting as much value from it until it blows up. And it's going to blow up. So if you're an investor to this company, you're a moron. Simple as that. You're stupid. You don't know Donald Trump. You don't know his track record. And I think I think Jones is, again, he does put that into his article that his businesses have not done very well, but I think he should have gone a little bit farther in saying, look, if you're investing in this business, you know Trump's track record. This is not going to go well. This is going to go very, very badly. And now, that said, I mentioned you've got to be an idiot to invest in anything that Donald Trump is like the head of, okay? If it's a Donald Trump project, stay away. Stay far, far away. You've got to be a dumb person. And we found a dumb person. Turns out it's Marjorie Taylor Greene. Marjorie Taylor Greene actually invested $50,000 into the stocks for this company. DWAC, as Jones notes, did see its shares skyrocket over 800% after announcing the deal with Donald Trump. So now you might think, wait a minute, 800%? Isn't that good? Oh, well, that's fantastic, right? Well, no, hold on. It depends on the share price. If your share price is like a penny and it goes up 800%, well, you're still not doing very well monetarily. All right. Now, look, if you buy super low and it goes up, well, that's fantastic, right? Okay, well, that's not what happened with Marjorie Taylor Greene. According to CNBC, DWAC did open at $118.80 a share. Wow, okay. However, Marjorie Taylor Greene bought high. And then it fell to $67.96 a share. It is now trading around $63 a share. That means Greene, at best estimate, has lost at least 7% on her investment, totaling thousands of dollars. Oops. Sad. Sucker. Baby. If you enjoyed this video, please give us a like and share with your friends. You can subscribe and help out the channel by becoming a patron. It's patreon.com/Jeff Waldorf, or you can become a channel member as well by hitting the join button below.